Hey, what's up, loves? Just Nick here, WBLS, your favorite afternoon personality. And I'm excited to have this special chef with me today because, baby, he travels the world and he knows how to savor the city. Chef Jernard, how are you today?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yes,
welcome to New York.
Absolutely. I love it here in New York. New York is one of those culturally aware cities that, as a person of color, you just have to. If you hadn't experienced the Big Apple, you're not doing yourself any justice.
Listen, you don't know how many people that I know from the South, including family, who has never been here before.
Wow.
You know, it's a lot for some people.
It is,
and
yeah.
Since you're from the South, do you like the hustle and bustle? Because, if you go to Times Square, it's a lot of people, and that could be overwhelming for some folks.
One of the biggest things for me is, although I was born and raised in Chicago and grew up in Mississippi.
Okay, come on.
So I went from, as they call it, the concrete jungle to dirt roads and cotton fields. So my parents allowing me to see the difference into it really opened my mind up. So when I had the opportunity years ago to visit New York, I embraced it because I love the energy. There's a synergy here.
Yes.
It's something about the atmosphere that just make you want to be something and do something. I don't know if it's because everybody is going, but I love it.
Yes, I love that. So what's your favorite eats when you come here?
Oh, look, no questions about it. It's Melba's. Melba's. Oh,
Shout out to Melba's.
Yes, Melba's in Harlem.
Southern.
Yes.
Come on.
Southern at its best, but more importantly, it's the hospitality.
Yes.
The experience. See, I go to a lot of restaurants, but one of the things that I've learned is if the hospitality is not on point, it doesn't matter how good your food is.
Absolutely.
And Melba's hospitality matched the greatness of her food. And that's why I keep going back to it. And then that block party that she
Come
has.
on.
But now, when you really want to get into the culture of that food, it's a place that's in Brooklyn called Cafe Rudy.
Come on.
Sinhalese food? Oh, I'm talking about taking holds of the culture, just snippets of it. That's really what I want people to gather from Savor the City. Because we travel.
Yes, I can tell, honey.
Yeah, look, we
you hit the
travel.
spots immediately. I love it. I love it. Speaking of Savor the City, it's not just another food travel show, right? Tell me, how would you describe the heart and soul of this series?
Savor the City, the heart and soul is my love letter to the people. That's really how I really love to put it, because one of my biggest things is there's a lot of travel shows out here in the world. But one thing, there is no travel show that focuses on us the way Savor the City does. And we are intentional about giving those their flowers now. It's no point in waiting till you leave here gone, or when you're old and you can't really celebrate like how we want you to.
That part.
We want to give you your kudos. We want to give you your love now, also while supporting you and allowing other people to come and experience what it is that I'm experiencing.
I love it. So what inspired you to take viewers on this journey through Black culinary history, since you mentioned us?
That has always been one of my biggest things. From years ago, when I was blessed with the opportunity to join the TV One and Clio TV family, we know Miss Kathy Hughes is the founder of Urban One.
Yes.
We know Alfred Liggins kicked off the TV One family and took it to a whole nother level. And then we had Michelle Rice, who's now the president and kicked off Clio TV.
Yes.
So we got these three meccas, and I'm blessed to have an amazing production company by the name of Powerhouse Productions now.
Come on.
Look, and we got all of these coming together when we talk about that synergy.
Yes.
And then you put me in the mix of it, and I just had a dream. I had a dream and a vision, and that dream tied into what their vision was and what they wanted to see for the people. And here we are, Savor the City, and I'm highlighting the best of our culture. I'm talking about Martha's Vineyard, Napa Valley, Oakland, San Francisco, Miami, the Bahamas, Charleston.
Come on.
The food in Charleston is crazy. You know, Charleston has that original Gullah Geechee. It's the original Gullah Geechee country where some of the first slaves came in at. So the food is really nostalgic, and that culture, just that resilience. And more importantly, I want to tell a story. I want to tell a story how we are great. Too often when you see media, you see us painting all these negative connotations.
Talk about it.
It's time for the world to see us in the light of how we are in our greatness.
Yes. I love the way you speak.
Oh, thank you.
It's so powerful. You've heard that before. Kudos to
Look,
you.
I still love hearing it because I think that it's best that we show ourselves in our natural light.
Yes.
And a lot of people always say, you got this heavy southern accent and this. I was like, look, that's just the way God made me.
Listen.
But I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to deliver great food and great stories.
Absolutely. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Do you come from a family of cooks?
I do. My father was a chef. My mother was a pastry chef. And my grandparents owned a farm over 200 acres of land in Mississippi. And that's how I ended up, my family migrating from Chicago to Mississippi. And at first it was this culture shock, but learning the resilience of how the family came together, cultivating from the land. And that's what birthed my love for food, because I saw how it made people feel when you're eating a good meal.
And what age did you start cooking?
When I first started cooking was at 10, and I opened my first restaurant up out of my mother's kitchen at 16 with a business license and all.
Come on.
Yes.
Yes.
Look, as I say, we don't choose the career path, it chooses us.
Yes. I love that. So powerful. There's some gems. Are you listening to these gems? Come on. Okay, so what was the worst food you made when you was young?
Oh, the worst food I made.
That you jacked up and you was like, I'm going to perfect this at some point.
Yes. I think the worst food that I made when I was young was really overcooking a steak because I didn't understand. And boy, when
Black
I tell you,
folks,
look, when my father came in and he was like, boy, what is this, a piece of leather? Just hearing that right there crushed my soul. And from that point, I said I was going to do whatever I could to cook something as simple as a steak right. And we get carried away when we're making steaks. But steaks, when you get a nice, good aged piece of beef, all you need is cracked black pepper and kosher salt.
Talk about it.
And a cast iron skillet
Come
that has
on.
a story to tell. And when you hit it with that sear, it's going to change anybody's life to taste it.
Salt and pepper, Black folks. I know we like to experiment and experiment outside of well done. Okay? You know how we do. We be like, well done.
I know, right? Well done,
but
everything.
I tell you, that medium, when you get it right and you can just really soak up and taste all the flavors. Whoo, come on now. Come on. I love it. Chef Jernard, what's the best meal that you've made?
The best meal that I made, I always tell people, and it is no secret, is my Creole barbecue shrimp. This is a recipe. My father was Creole also, so I inherited this from him. But also spending time in New Orleans, it allowed me to really hone and perfect this dish. And it's simple. Large shrimp, smoked paprika, brown sugar, fresh garlic, Worcestershire sauce, lemon juice, and
say it again.
Worcestershire sauce. See, some people think it's Worcestershire.
Worcestershire, Worcestershire. I can't still. I'm struggling.
Or just give me some of that sauce that's made with anchovies, because you know that's what Worcestershire is made with, anchovies.
What?
Yes, a lot of people don't even know that it's truly a fish sauce, and that's why you get that umami taste out of it.
Come on, you better talk that talk. You better talk that
Yes,
talk.
but that dish, look, oven 300 degrees, back to that cast iron skillet, pop it in there with the sauce blend I just told you.
Yes.
Let it bake for 20 minutes. Oh, it's life changing.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So you've visited some incredible kitchens across the country, across the world, right? Have you ever been humbled by someone's home cooked meal?
Always, because I feel that is where it starts. When people always ask me about being a chef, and yes, I'm classically trained. But before becoming classically trained, my first love was in the kitchen with my parents cooking.
Yeah.
That's where my first love, that's where the excitement came from. And that's when I started to understand that cooking was an art. Too often we just eat to live, but we have to understand that this was created for a celebration around the dinner table. And us as people of color, we mastered that art, because at one point when first being brought over here as slaves, whether we were sold or stole, we ended up here. But we mastered the art of learning that the resilience in food is what kept us together. Even during hard times, we knew if we didn't have anything else, we had a great meal. And when I say we had a great meal, too often do I say we only get credit for one side of the story. The one side of the story that we get credit for is what we know is soul food.
Right.
And I did the air quotes because I always tell people soul food is not a cuisine. Soul food is the way we feel. It comes from our hands. It's passed down, the love that we truly put in, the method and process.
Yes.
What we create is American cuisine because we invented it here. But we only hear about how we was making the best chitlin hog maws,
Right.
throwing all the fat back in all the meals, feeding the field hands. What we don't get credit for is how the same people that were in the house cooking for the field hands was cooking for the plantation owner, and the plantation owner were eating the best of the best. So what does that mean? We was cooking on the high end, and we was taking the high end and the worst of the worst, the low end, and making it good too. So we reign supreme in the kitchen. Let's go ahead and set that record straight.
Boy, the history for me, y'all. Class is in session. And you could get more of this on the show. So tell people how they can watch the show.
Watch the show every Thursday on TV One, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Savor the City. I'm highlighting some of the best in our culture, food, music, entertainment, art, how we do it. And people always ask the question, where you going to next, Chef? You know what I tell them? I'm going everywhere we are, because we everywhere, baby.
That part. How did you find them?
My team, Powerhouse Productions, TV One's team, we all just go out and search. So I always tell restaurants and I tell business owners, don't put on the hospitality because you heard or think I'm coming. Already have the hospitality in place, because I'm already sending people in to vet it out to get the experience. So when I bring it to you and make a recommendation for the people, they know I can stand on it because we've already vetted. They ain't just showing us this greatness for TV. They showing it because this is how the people really are.
Awesome. So what advice would you give up and coming restaurants? You know, oftentimes we get this stigma of food that's not quality, you know, but we're starting to embrace supporting the culture more and uniting like we used to be, where it takes a village and now we're becoming the village again. What would you say to just restaurant owners and store owners?
Restaurant owners, one of the biggest things I always want to say and preach is hospitality, hospitality, hospitality. You can have the best food in the world, but if your customer service and your front of the house is not on point just as well, it will kill the greatness of what you're producing in the kitchen. So always make sure that your front of the house is treating your guests great, treating them amazing. You know, I still think the saying is true because I'm a business owner and I'm a consumer. The customer is always right. Because it's times that we are the customer, and when we have an issue, we want it to be addressed. So keep that in mind as a business owner. But also, more importantly, from the standpoint of we're hearing about the embracement of communities coming together. We're starting to see a synergy of our food. And you even hear that talk where you see these things going on social media, low vibration meals. And what I'm here to tell people, when we look and hear that, it's because of the things that we put in our food now. Because our great grandparents, our ancestors, they wasn't putting all that in our food. The truth of the matter about our true ancestors that came from Africa, they were eating from the sea. They was eating fresh vegetables. They weren't eating all this other stuff. First of all, they couldn't afford it, and they learned how to live off the land, which was the healthiest way. Because we were out working in these fields, we had to be in tip-top shape. We were in better shape than the people who owned us because we were eating the best. So we need to take back that and get rid of this whole, I got to throw all this in my meal for it to be called soul food. I'm here to tell you, if you cooking it with your hands and you somebody of color like me, like you, baby, it's soul food.
Come on. I love it. I love it. You got me want to go cook something. Just get down in the kitchen. So, okay, speaking of that, do you believe less is more?
I do.
Because you know we get a little heavy-handed with the salt sometimes.
That is true. Less is more. And what we have to focus on, as I always tell people, and then chefs that I'm mentoring, you can always add to, but you can't take away. So season with limits. Taste it. Make sure it's there. If it's not, then add a little more. That way first of all, you're not wasting product because you over-salted, over-seasoned something thinking that's the way. That's not the way to open up the palate. You open up the palate by using more fresh herbs, fresh spices, fresh ingredients, and it allow those flavors to shine naturally.
Yes, and you can live longer too.
True.
Come on, Chef Jernard. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And you mentioned something when you were talking about just our ancestors and what they used to cook and how they were living off land. And because we used to talk about how long we would live, right? And now, because everything, you have to watch for the chemicals and the pesticides and all of that, it's hard. Like most people say, you know, well, that's what my mama and my grandmother and her grandmother lived off of, but that's still, it's not the same today as it was before.
And it's not. And it's not for many reasons, because of course, as the world populated, what man decided he want to do is figure out how I can shortcut and grow stuff.
Right.
So you would see, okay, my grandmama she went spent her whole life cooking with lard, eating fat back and all that. She lived to be 110.
Right.
I tried eating that and I ain't make it to the year 34. And the reason why is because what they are putting in the food to make it grow fast, to make it produce, that's what's harming us.
Yeah.
It's not hurting us from what just grows from the ground and we eat it naturally. It's all the antibiotics, all these other additives. And what we have to do is we have to get back to the root of how we source and we pick our stuff. Local farmers, build your relationship, go to farmers markets. If you don't have a farmers market near you, go in your local grocery store. Build a relationship with the meat monger, the fish monger, when he getting fresh seafood in.
Yes.
Call me up, text me. Look, slide him a tip. You'll be amazed. $5, $10 to a stranger that's at the behind that counter will go a long way. I guarantee you they'll remember your name.
Yes.
And those are the things we can do, is subtle things to change our life, to change our process, to change how we see food.
Yes, I love that. Listen, your personality shines, honey, and I'm looking forward to the new episodes. Without giving away too much, what upcoming visit gave you the biggest wow moment?
Oh, there are so many, but if one visit I have to say that really gave me a wow moment was spending time in Martha's Vineyard.
Wow.
Martha's Vineyard, when I tell you, is first of all, when you either fly into the island or fly into Boston and then take the ferry over, when you touch down the island, although it's America, it feels like you're in a completely different land. It's just something about the resilience of our people. You know, one of the things with Martha's Vineyard, when the slaves were first freed, the indentured servants, they were the first ones to start buying up the land over there. And I'm so amazed to see how we have continued to hold the value of the land, because it's top dollar to be at Martha's Vineyard. But I suggest anyone to add that to your bucket list, to go there and experience that. But I had to take advantage of the black polar bear experience, where they go out in the ocean early in the morning. And when I tell you, at first it took my production company a minute to talk me into getting out there at 6 a.m. because they go out there when the sun go up.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it's cold, and they're going in the ocean. But when I went out there, it was one of the most life-changing moments that I'd ever experienced. And you come out feeling different.
I love it. I'm looking forward to this show. What do you want to say to your fans, and how can they connect with you?
Look, please follow me on all social media at Chef Jernard, and that's Jernard with a J, not a G. But more importantly, tune in. Savor the City is a labor of love, not just for me and my team, but for you. This is a tie-in to our culture, because I say, how do we know where we're going if we don't know where we're being? But more importantly, let's go ahead and shine a light on some of these favorite places that we all eat and know about.
I love it. I've enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank y'all for watching WBLS.